Hey guys, Randy here from our Cozy Garden, and today I am planting an additional David Austin rose. This one is considered a tender rose here in Zone 3 because it is rated for Zone 5, and the variety is the Pilgrim. And it is a English climbing rose, and this will be our first time growing a climbing rose here in our garden, and it will be the second yellow rose that we will plant in our garden. The first one, which I think is campfire, is this one right here. This one was planted about 2 years ago, but it was moved last year, and I think it got stressed out that it did not survive the winter. So I will have to dig this out, and in place I will be putting this Pilgrim David Austin rose. And if you've seen our previous video on growing Zone 5 roses here in Zone 3, we did 2 of those in there. These are also David Austin roses. The first one is the Desdemona. That's a Zone 5 David Austin rose, very fragrant, and our customers are loving it whenever they have it on their bouquets. And this one is the Lady Gardener, and this one too is very prolific. These 2 were planted in there last year. So one thing, and I think it's the most important thing in planting these tender roses here in Zone 3, is you need to plant them deep enough so that this graft union will be about 2 to 3 inches below the ground, and that way they are protected from our very harsh winters here in the prairies. Second thing to remember is plant them during the cooler months, either spring or autumn. But right now it's very early summer, and it's been raining the past few days. It's been cool in the evening, so I think it's still a good time to plant them. And another thing to do for these tender roses here in Zone 3 is to give them additional winter protection right before your first snowfall. So in our case last year, we added wire meshes around each of our tender rose, and in the center we placed sphagnum peat moss, or if you have compost, much better, and then we added mulch on top of that. That way they are additionally protected during our really cold winter months. And then in spring you'd have to clean that up to make sure that there are no diseases or fungus that are harbored in the mulch over the winter months. And okay, I think we're ready to plant our new David Austin rose, the Pilgrim. So now that we dug up our ground for planting, one thing I forgot to say is ideally you would want your hole to be twice as wide as your container. So our container, or our root ball, is 8.5 by 8.5 square. So this ideally should be 16, which is, well, this one is actually 17 that way, and this one is 20. So this hole should be big enough for our new David Austin rose, and the reason for that is you'd want your root ball to have enough room to grow so that they don't have to push through, for example, clay soil or compacted soil. And as I've mentioned, we want our graft union to be at least 2 to 3 inches below the surface of the ground. So this one has approximately 12 inches into the graft union. So we add 2 inches to that. That would make it 14. If I transfer it, then 14 or even more, especially that we hail it right at the base of the plant. So this hole should be good enough for our new tender David Austin rose, the Pilgrim. Before I forget, I also would recommend using an organic rose plant fertilizer. This one is from Evolve, and it is 2:10:2 NPK ratio. So I would suggest you use this. We can sprinkle some in the hole right before placing our rose in it. course, you'd want to be very careful. You don't want to break your rose as you take it out of the container. And then once you have your root ball like this, gently rub the surface. That way you are massaging the root ball, and that would actually break some of the smaller roots, but at the same time encourage more roots to grow outside the root ball. And okay, then double check just to make sure. And then of course you make sure that you orient it on how you want it, because after this you won't be able to move it around. Okay, now I'm ready to fill it back in. And then finally, of course, never forget to water. And that's it. That's our tender David Austin Rose, the Pilgrim, rated for Zone 5, planted here in Zone 3, Alberta, Canada. In the next few days, we need to make sure that it is well watered so that it doesn't get too stressed with the transplant, and hopefully come late summer, autumn, or spring next year, we will have the wonderful yellow blooms from this David Austin Rose. So once again, thanks so much for your time. My name is Randy here at Our Cozy Garden, and until next video, have a good day.